You might be cooking the healthiest food, you might be cooking something organic, and then you're just coating all of it in this non-stick residue that's filled with these forever chemicals that are just sitting in your body that then you have to detoxify and get out of your body. These chemicals, people are like, oh, we have the liver, it will naturally detoxify, and that's what the liver is for. Yes, the liver is one of the main detoxifying organs, of course. However, we are living in a toxic soup, and our cookware is a major contributor to that toxic soup. Our bodies are not used to having to detox and filter all of these toxins that we're constantly surrounded with.
Well, welcome to Biohacking with Brittany, the podcast where science meets wisdom. I'm Brittany Ford, holistic nutritionist, biohacker, and mom. And for years, I struggled with gut issues, hormonal imbalances, and the exhaustion of motherhood while running a business. Biohacking and functional medicine became my way back to clarity, vitality, and trust in my body. And that's why I'm here, not just to share information, but to share the practices and perspectives that truly shifted my health and my life. Each week, I bring you science-backed tools, honest conversations, and rituals I live myself so you can return to your own body's wisdom and create longevity on your own terms. Because your body already knows this is just the space to remember. Welcome to the last day of 12 holiday rituals. I cannot believe it's been 12 days. This is huge, guys. And thank you to everyone who has entered my 12 days of giveaways. This is like the biggest giveaway I've ever done, worth over $5,500 worth of wellness, longevity, biohacking tech, and products, all the best of the best. If you want to enter, you can do so on my website, linked in my bio, in the show notes, in the description of these videos, in my private community that's only got a few select people in it right now, but it is everywhere. And you can enter up until December 24th, and the winners will be chosen the first week of January. So it's huge. There are thousands of you who have entered. I'm so happy about that. So please enter. There's different things that you can do once you click on it, like which gives you more entries. You'll see it. So simple, so easy. 12 winners, 12 days. Incredible. And today we are ending it with a massive day. I am giving away a 12-piece set from Caraway. Wow. In this episode, we're going to be talking about our cookware and why it's so important that we use clean, non-toxic cookware. This is something I'm extremely passionate about just in general, of like removing toxicity from my home, especially for women and our health, but also for fertility and pregnancy and postpartum and babies and motherhood and all these things. So it is just so important that we really focus on this and prioritize this in our homes. So cookware is one of the highest exposure categories in the home, and most people actually don't even realize it. So we're going to talk about the harmful effects and why Caraway is honestly changing the game when it comes to this. So when people think about toxins, they think about skincare and body care and plastics or cleaning products. But honestly, like, what about cookware? Cookware is a daily exposure. And when it's heated, especially when it's heated, which increases leaching dramatically of certain toxins and chemicals. Most conventional cookware contains certain chemicals like PFAS, which are like known as forever chemicals, PFOA, PTFE, aka Teflon, for all you people who like the Teflon pans out there, heavy metals, synthetic coatings that break down with heat, glazes that release microtoxins, and the list honestly goes on and on. And here's the actual truth. These chemicals bioaccumulate, which means that they actually build up in the body over time and they stay there. They affect the endocrine system, reproductive system, thyroid, breast tissue, and even the developing nervous system of babies. Pause this recording 1 second. The research on PFAS and fertility is honestly terrifying. And when I was going through my own fertility, I think this is when I became the most aware of what was going on and aware of all of it. When I really started to think about like detoxing my home, and just in general thinking about like where are my exposures coming from that I might not be conscious of at the time. And so when we're talking about fertility specifically, these chemicals are linked to reduced egg quality, impaired embryo implantation, hormone disruption, hugely hormone disruption, early menopause, increased risk miscarriage, thyroid dysfunction, changes in breast milk composition, which is crazy, and a higher risk of metabolic issues. Now, you don't need to fear every single chemical, but there are some that cause more issues than others. And you should remove the ones that you are exposed to daily if you can. And I'm going to talk about it in a second on like, if I were in your shoes, where would I start? But with cookware, this is one of the biggest ones because we use it daily and it's heated. That's the problem. It's heated. So why Caraway is different? I think a lot of people know the brand Caraway now, and I have honestly been impressed. So I have their 12-piece set. The set that I got, if you're looking at my Instagram or on socials, my website, I have it's like a cream with like the gold handles. So it's really nice. It really like matches my kitchen. And I have their big pot with the lid, small pot with the lid, and 2 pans. And then there's like 3 lids in total for those 4 pieces. It also comes with like this in the door. You can like stack the lids, which is really cool. And how to dry them. It comes with like a certain like drying rack. And it ends up making 12 pieces, which is incredible. And I actually made chili last night and I was able to use it and it was really, really beautiful and effective. And so Caraway's entire line is PFOA-free, PTFE-free, lead-free, cadmium-free, made with ceramic non-toxic coating, and designed so nothing leaches at normal cooking temperatures. This means you're not eating microdoses of chemicals every time you saute veggies or cook eggs. This is so important. So many people use different non-toxic pans or even just Teflon, non-stick pans is what I meant to say. And I just cringe when I see my family members using these because, you might be cooking the healthiest food, you might be cooking something organic, and then you're just coating all of it in this non-stick residue that's filled with these forever chemicals that are just sitting in your body that then you have to detoxify and get out of your body. And the thing is like these chemicals, people are like, oh, we have the liver, like it will naturally detoxify and that's what the liver is for. Yes, the liver is one of the main detoxifying organs, of course. However, we are living in like a toxic soup, talking about soup and chili. We are living in a toxic soup. And our cookware is a major impact, like contributor to that toxic soup. Our bodies are not used to having to detox and filter all of these toxins that we're constantly surrounded with. And I don't just mean in our cookware. I mean in everything. Like your Starbucks coffee mug that you drink from that's hot, that plastic lid, the to-go coffee mugs, really, really like not great. And honestly, I had one this morning. Like even me, I'm just forgetting, trying to like make sure I reduce my exposure. Our clothing is a big one right now. A lot of people are talking about microplastics and the byproducts of these certain chemicals, and the way that, recycled plastic is now like a thing in clothing and it's literally like sitting on your skin, rubbing against you all day, soaking into your body, in like disrupting your endocrine system, disrupting your hormones. And then we're seeing increases in infertility, PCOS, endometriosis, early menopause. The list goes on and on of hormonal issues that we're seeing. And for men as well, decrease in sperm quality, all of the sperm parameters, decrease in testosterone, like all of these different things. The question does become, how many toxins are we exposed to in our environment? And what can we do about it? And cookware is a big one for this. And that's why I'm so passionate about it, because I think we should try to really optimize the cookware and the bakeware that we're using because it's such a simple swap. So I love Caraway. I've been really impressed with them and it is non-toxic. And it also feels very luxury, which I love. So even when you're heating it, nothing sticks. It's very easy to clean and it looks beautiful on the stove and it's durable. It works for busy moms who don't want a high maintenance kitchen. I also have cast iron pans. I have 2 cast iron pans. So how does Caraway compare to cast iron? Cast iron is great because it doesn't have the ceramic in it. It is a much more, cast iron has been around for so long. What I like about cast iron is that I know how do I say this? Like, obviously with Caraway, there's no toxins as well. But cast iron is just a different type of metal that they use, like the ceramic coating versus the iron. The thing with the cast iron, even though I love them as well, is that they're very heavy and they're much harder to clean. When my family, like when my mother-in-law comes over, or even my mom, like she actually struggles cleaning our cast iron pans because they're so heavy. Like they're so heavy. When you take them from the stove, when you take them to the sink to wash them, you have to use 2 hands. Like they are very heavy. And when you clean them, you're not supposed to use soap and you're supposed to just like scrub them with metal, which we do, but it then takes the coating off. Like you have to like re-season the cast iron pans. So essentially with cast iron is like, yes, they're non-toxic, but they're way heavier, which can be hard on people who have like issues with their joints or like struggle to lift things, or they are also difficult to clean and season and maintain in that like optimal shape. With Caraway, when we're talking about ceramic, it is much better than that. Easier to clean. You can use soap, way lighter, and honestly, like a lot prettier as well. It's not like this massive like old iron piece of like metal sitting on your stove. And so I can see why a lot of people actually really like Caraway for that reason. So one of my beliefs is that longevity has to be beautiful to be sustainable. And Caraway like really does align with that. The colors, the design, the storage solutions, everything honestly like feels elevated. They have so many different colors of the pans and the pots that you can choose. You can like choose the different colors of the handles. You can choose the different colors of the pots, the pans, and you can like combo them in any way that you want. My next purchase from Caraway is actually going to be their bakeware, because bakeware is something that I have struggled with. I think that a really great approach to switching to more of a non-toxic lifestyle is to do it slowly over time. And this goes for your closet as well. I don't think it like makes sense to swap everything, because that's so expensive to like actually suddenly buy new everything, right? Like that would be thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So I think over time doing it makes more sense. And I also think that applies to like the kitchen and even your cosmetics as well. So now that my cookware is great, I'm going to be switching to my bakeware. So I'm going to be getting their ceramic muffin tins will probably be my first purchase. And then probably their baking sheets. And then what else do I want? I want probably the mini muffins, probably like a baking dish. Although I have glass, and glass is pretty good for that. But the muffins kind of kills me inside, because so many of the muffin trays that you get are the non-stick ones. Or you put like the liners in there, the silicone liners. And then I just can't help but to think like, yeah, you have a silicone muffin liner, but you're heating it at 350 degrees or 400 degrees. And it's like, is that just soaking into the muffin or the cupcake that you're making? And then you're eating that. Like, so that kind of like concerns me a little. So my next swap will be to do clean, like non-toxic bakeware. And actually, I think they just came out with knives too. So I'll probably get their knife block, because my knife block is not that great. So that's my recommendation. If you're listening to this and like non-toxic living and a non-toxic home is like a very new thing to you, start really slow. Like really slow. Like start with one piece or a couple of things here and there. If you're like, oh man, we really need a new pan, or we really need like a new pot for soup, or a Dutch oven, or like a specific piece, like just start with what you would naturally replace. And over time, you will get to a place where like everything is kind of non-toxic. The great thing about Caraway as well is like they have sets. So if you bundle, you save. So if you get their like 12-piece set, which is like part of the giveaway for today, you like there's 12 pieces in that, right? And it's cheaper to get them as a bundle than it would be to like buy them all separately, which I think makes a lot of sense. So check that out. And they have huge bundles. Like you could do bakeware, cookware, and whatever and spend $2,000 and get like 25 pieces or more, and then be able to save so much if you buy it all together. So there's all of these different options depending on what you're looking for. I use the saute pan that they have, which is like your typical pan size. You could probably picture it if you're listening and not watching me. For like eggs, veggies, toddler meals, the Dutch oven, bone broth, soups, stews. Bakeware is obviously something I've been talking about and I want. And then there's storage organizers. So they have some incredible storage organizers. And that's also what I love about Caraway. It's like, they're not just like, hey, here, take these pots and pans and lids. It's like, how is the average person using these? So they give you a place to store the lids inside a cupboard if you open it, right? Like thinking about storage solutions. If you have a small kitchen and you need to like store things in a very smart way. Same with the drying racks, I think is also a great idea that they do it like that. So they've really thought through the whole process from beginning to end of like how somebody uses their products. And when there's like that much intention behind it, it makes me really trust the brand because they're thinking, hey, how is Brittany using these? Rather than like, let's just try to get her to only like use the pots and pans. It's like, no, how are we cleaning it? How are we storing it? And everything like that. So I swapped everything to non-toxic cookware a couple of years ago, and I will continue to do that. And I really, really encourage you to do that as well. There are so many things that like women are in my DMs who talk to me about stuff like this. Like they love the feeling of using Caraway. They like how it looks in their kitchen because it looks so beautiful and they feel like elevated, but also like non-toxic. And so that's like a nice like balance there. Their food doesn't stick. There's no chemical smell. Oh my gosh. Sometimes when the things smell, I'm like a little worried. They feel mentally lighter knowing toxins are reduced. Their kids get less exposure and they just like have all around like trust. And so this is intuitive longevity, right? It's like we're creating an environment that makes wellness effortless. And that's what we are striving towards. So like I said, like if you are in the transition period of like transitioning your kitchen, you don't have to do it all overnight. Start slow if that works better for you. And just be really mindful of like what you do have right now, if there's any scratches, because those have leaching, right? Like if your Teflon has scratches on it, those chemicals are seriously leaching into your food and those should be thrown out first. You do not need a 20 cookware piece set. You could have like 5 high quality ones and that's all you need. I actually just gave away so many pots and pans because when we moved, everyone around us gave us their leftover this and leftover that and like wanted to donate to us. And we had our drawers were full of random lids and stuff. And I was like, no, this is too much. And so I donated them because I really thought that, you know, someone else could use these. And none of them were Teflon. Like some of them were stainless steel. But yeah, Teflon I would not donate. I would just throw it. So I think that's like so important. So if you want to check out the giveaway for today, it is a 12-piece set from Caraway, which guys is like a huge giveaway. It is the 12-piece ceramic cookware set. It's worth over $675 US. That's incredible. We are ending the giveaway with an absolute banger because I just wanted to do one of the biggest prizes today to really round out the giveaway. You can enter on my website, the link in my bio, on the show notes, everywhere below. It's kind of everywhere. The giveaway ends December 24th and winners will be announced the first week of January. All of the entry steps are in the show notes and there is so much goodies for you to win. I really hope these pans, this 12-ware cook set goes to somebody who has not done any swapping in their kitchen yet. Like, I hope this is someone who's like, oh my gosh, I really want to swap everything, but you know, I can't afford it maybe, or I don't have access to it. I hope this set goes to you because I just think it's really like such a beautiful way to like kick off living a more non-toxic lifestyle, especially in the kitchen. So that's today's ritual, all about building a non-toxic kitchen with Caraway. I hope you got some good information and you learned a lot from this. And if you want to enter the giveaway, all the details are below. And that's it, guys. This is the last day. Wow. If you have any questions, send me a message on Instagram at biohackingbrittany. And thank you for listening. I will catch you soon for another episode. Thank you for listening to Biohacking with Brittany. I hope today's conversation gave you something to take into your own life, a practice, a perspective, or simply a reminder to trust your body. If you love this episode, please leave a review, share it with someone else who could benefit, and join me over on Instagram at biohackingbrittany for more. And if you're ready to go deeper, you can explore my retreats, community, favorite tools, all linked for you in the show notes. Until next time, remember, your body already knows.